Capital One's 360 checking and savings account has some fantastic advantages that sets it apart from other online bank accounts. Capital One offers a fee-free banking experience, as there are no monthly fees or overdraft fees. You also have access to over 70,000 fee-free ATMs. Capital One savings account sports a competitive 4.3% APY. There's no minimum balance required for this high APY. And your money is FDIC insured up to $250,000 with Capital One. So your money is safe in case of a bank failure. Capital One occasionally offers welcome bonuses when opening an account with them. At the moment, Capital One isn't offering any bonuses for their checking or savings account, but SoFi is. When you sign up to SoFi's checking and savings account using someone's referral link, you'll receive $25 as a welcome bonus. Additionally, you can receive $50 or $250 for qualifying direct deposits of $1,000 or $5,000 respectively. I'll have my SoFi referral link down below. Capital One has 2-day early direct deposit, mobile check deposit, and free cash deposit at CVS. And you can deposit cash at a Capital One branch, Capital One Cafe, or a Capital One ATM. Capital One cafes also offer 50% off coffee when you pay using a Capital One debit or credit card. You can find locations of fee-free ATMs, Capital One branches, and cafes in the Capital One app. You can also get credit cards through Capital One, take out loans, buy CDs, view your credit score. And Capital One also has a checking account for teens that has parental controls. With the Capital One savings account, you earn a high 4.3% APY on money in their savings account. You can easily transfer money to or from savings, as there are currently no transfer limits when it comes to their savings account. Capital One also offers a savings account for kids. Although the kids savings account only pays 0.3% APY, Capital One savings account also has an automatic savings plan, which allows you to automatically deposit money into your savings account from another bank or from your Capital One checking account. You get to choose how often and how much. The Capital One checking account pays 0.1% interest. Most checking accounts pay either very little interest or no interest at all. With the Capital One checking account, you do have to fund it within the first 60 days or else the account will close. Your first 50 checks are free, but fees do vary on additional checks. And you also have access to Zelle, so you can send money to friends and family fast and fee-free. You can easily manage everything through the Capital One app, which is clean and easy to use. Which there is a drawback I'd like to mention when it comes to Capital One. Even though Capital One offers free cash deposit at CVS, Capital One branches, and Capital One cafes, and at Capital One ATMs, if you're someone who deals with cash often, you may want to keep a minimum balance at a local brick-and-mortar bank. Unless, of course, you live close to a Capital One ATM or branch. This is mainly because the amount of physical locations that Capital One has is limited. Also, cash deposits at CVS is limited to $999 per day, and limited to 5 transactions per month. Cash withdrawals from ATMs is limited to $1,000 per day. To sum it up, Capital One is an ideal option for someone who wants an online-only bank account, because online-only bank accounts typically pay much higher interest and are usually fee-friendly, but they still want something similar to a traditional bank account. And Capital One definitely delivers on this, as they have a very simple and easy to use banking app, and they also have physical locations. Many of these locations are also cafes, which may be a plus for some. Some of the fee-free ATMs available to you actually belong to Capital One. You can deposit checks at Capital One ATMs. Although if you don't live near a Capital One branch or cafe, it's going to feel more like an online-only bank account.